So let's begin. This is the release notes for the 13th of November, 2025. That's when the release took place. And as a quick reminder of how to find the notes regarding the release, down in the lower right-hand corner on either the Fieldcode Workplace or the Fieldcode Admin panel, which you see in front of you now, you'll see a little Fieldcode symbol, typically in green. If you click on there, the side panel will open up, and you'll see the updates here. And this is what we're going to be going over today. Not too much, but these are some wonderful quality of life improvements, I believe, and I think that you'll be quite happy with them. So let's begin today with our account settings. And there's been a small change to our account settings, and that is that we've added in localization. Localization is how you can set up what the standards will be for users as you invite them. So if your company has French, for example, as its language, then you can come here. Oh, actually, I need to go ahead and click on Edit Account Settings. Please remember to do that, and then go to Localization, and then you'll be able to select and change the language to French, for example. And if I refresh now, then we'll see that I've changed the standard localization language to French, even though my account is still in English. And what this does is it means that anyone I invite right now to this account would have French as their standard language. Likewise, I could change this from kilometers to miles, or from 24 hours to 12-hour clock, and so forth. This just means that new users invited will have these settings as their default settings. So if you are, for example, are having a cleaning company in Southern California and you have many workers for you who prefer Spanish as their language, then rather than having them go through the standard user settings, coming up here and adjusting it by coming here to my settings and then choosing language, you could instead set Spanish as your standard language and then invite them in, and they would have Spanish already set as their language. So that would make their life a little bit easier. And while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and quickly show you as well. We received some complaints about how our dropdowns were working. And so now there's a new unified dropdown component throughout the admin panel. So anywhere you find dropdowns, they'll all have the same functionality available to them. Now, of course, some dropdowns will allow you to have more than one selection or so forth, because of the nature of what you're selecting there, but they all have the same properties, the same capabilities. So as you go to search, for example, you can simply start to type out what you're searching for, rather than having to scroll through all the way and things like that. So that's going to make your life a little bit easier as you use the drop-down menus within the admin panel. We'll go back to our admin panel home screen here, and let's take a look at our second change, which is for the customer portal. Within the customer portal settings, we now have an option to enable live chat. And if I select over here, then right now we are currently only supporting Glassix. If you happen to have a different live chat version supported, please let us know. Make us aware of that. But if you happen to have Glassix, then you can enter in your API key, your snippet ID, and you can also then choose which dispatch groups you want this to be valid for. And when the customer portal link is sent to the customers, they'll be able to have live chat within those groups. What's really useful about this here is you can select all, or you can simply try and roll it out to one or two groups, see how your customers like it. And if you decide that it's working well for you, then you can expand which groups that you have using your Glassix live chat option. Previously, when we would look at the customer portal, let's go ahead and take a look at the customer portal for this ticket here. And I have a little template that I put together that helps me find that much easier. So every ticket has a unique customer portal link. And I'm going to go ahead and take the link for this one here and show you what the customer portal looks like real quick. This here is for leaving a comment on a ticket. So although this looks like a live chat option, this is actually for leaving a comment. And when someone leaves a comment, we'll say this is a comment. Then on that ticket, there would be information. There we are. It has to scroll up a little bit. There'll be information directly from the customer there ready for you to read. And then once you've done whatever needs to be done involving that comment, then you can acknowledge that. Or you could write back to the customer using the info tab here and do info from dispatcher to customer. Yeah, info to customer portal. Right. And then that would then appear on the customer portal down below for them once they refresh. There we are. And so it goes in reverse order. Oldest comment at the bottom, newest comment at the top. But with the live chat feature, instead, you'd have a live chat option here, and they could chat with you live. So both of those options are available. Please take advantage of them to improve your customer service. And for our next thing, we have a new form of a template. So you saw previously that I had a customer portal template that I used before for that email. Well, we now also have document templates. And to add a document template, you hit the plus sign and you choose create document template. I've created one here for us to check out though. So in this case, I've decided to add a new type of report rather than our standard report. And if I select a ticket here, let's go with this top ticket here, then we'll see the report filled out here. Now we do see a piece of information here because this ticket happens to not have that information on there. And these tickets in resolve status will have the engineer's notes, but a ticket, for example, in appointment status won't have that yet because it hasn't been reported yet. But if it has the work order number, or which I targeted the C&E specifically, then that will show up there. Something to keep in mind though with this, for example, let's check ticket 575. Here I put it in the description. The description on the ticket normally has spaces and you know the first line and the second line and so forth are spaced out. When it's put in here, these are all together. So that's something to keep in mind. The other thing to keep in mind as well is if you're operating in more than one country, then you'll want to consider how the addresses are shown in those countries. So for example, here we have the address showing Berlin, comma, and then there's nothing there. Whereas if I select one from the US, the top one here, for example, that one doesn't have the state either. Let's grab this one here. Then I can include that state there. But the addresses are in a different order in the US versus how they are in Germany. So if you're operating multiple countries, then you want to consider that as you set up your document templates, and you'll want to set up rules that take that into account and put those items in the correct order for you. Another thing that you'll notice is that these lines extend as they need to. So the engineer notes here are quite short. The description here is quite short. But if we click on ticket 575 here, then we see that the description is quite long and the engineer notes still quite short because this was just very lazily finished up. But that there will extend for you. So you don't need to create the space for the description. It will extend that automatically as well. If you have any trouble or any questions about how to set these document templates up, please do reach out to our support team. We'll be happy to help you out. I took some time over this weekend to learn this and make sure that I have a clear understanding of how to do this for you guys and to assist you. The next thing to discuss, I can't actually show you, at least not in a normal way, and that is that we now have email domain extension support. So it used to be that email domain extensions were like .com, .net, .gov, .edu, all three letters. And we had set rules in place that restricted those email domain extensions to three letters. And that caused some problems because there are now new domains out there like .service, .store, .online, so forth, that are out there that are much longer. So we've extended that now to include 10 characters, which means that you can have longer email domain extensions for any emails entered into our system, and it won't reject them. It won't flag them as incorrect. And then the final change is that there has been a change to the timeline so that the routes and the PUDOs and so forth show up a lot faster It's not something you might notice if you hadn't noticed the slowdown before, but now everything's running a lot faster when putting things out onto the timeline. So if I drag and drop something, or if I quickly schedule something here, there we go. Then it goes out onto the timeline just a little bit faster, and that will make your lives a lot easier. I believe that covers everything. Let me just double check my notes. We discussed the live chat integration. We discussed the document templates. We discussed the account localization settings, but there is one more thing. Yes. We'll go back to our admin panel. And under our dispatch groups, within the dispatch groups, you can set a dispatch group to have, if you have an enterprise level plan, you can set up or you can activate fully automated dispatching, meaning the optimizer will run at certain intervals and try and schedule all the tickets out onto the timeline that it can under a certain set of rules. We now have an option within the optimizer profiles, which you can find underneath the optimization tab within the dispatch group, that appears only if that is selected, and that is for the automated dispatch settings, the maximum solve time. It defaults to 8 minutes, but the maximum solve time means that the optimizer is going to run, in this case, for 8 minutes and try and schedule everything that it can within the rules that are in place. So required skills are going to be adhered to, parts availability is going to be adhered to, customer availability, if it's been added to the ticket, will be adhered to. And the optimizer will run, in this case, for 8 minutes while it tries to optimize everything. After 8 minutes, it will put its best results out there. And then at the next interval, it will then try and schedule the next tickets to come in or reschedule the tickets that are out there, again, within 8 minutes. But it knows that it has a limitation of 8 minutes as it tries to figure out that complex mathematical problem of how do I send the right person to the right place at the right time in the most efficient manner possible. So you can set it between 1 minute and 60 minutes. I would recommend against 1 minute. We do recommend that you leave it at the default of 8 minutes, but if you want to give the optimizer more time in order to get better results, then you could increase it to 10 or 15 as you see fit. Or if you need things to be done a little bit faster, then you could reduce it as well. That option is now available to you to use as you see fit. And that concludes today's coverage of the release notes from the release on the 13th of November 2025. Thank you for your attendance. If you have any questions, please do reach out to us, support@fieldcode.com. If you are seeing this video online and you don't have a Fieldcode account and you're interested in seeing if Fieldcode would be a right fit for you, we do have an option on our website to request a demo. Let's just go to fieldcode.com real quick. And you'll see here, get a demo. And then if you come here, then you'll have the options set in front of you. We allow up to a week in advance of planning. And of course, we're not available on Saturdays and Sundays. But if you need some sort of special availability, if for some reason none of these time slots work for you, or if you really do need to have a demo on a weekend or an unusual time, write to demo@fieldcode.com, let me know, and I will work with you to find a time to present Fieldcode to you at a time that's convenient to you. Thank you very much.